A strange new inmate arrived at the prison. The moment the guards saw him, they quickly lowered their rifles in respect. The prisoners all gathered behind the wire fence, eager to catch a glimpse of him. He was none other than the legendary three-star U.S. Army Colonel Irwin. To welcome his personal hero, the warden dressed up meticulously, greeting Irwin with great ceremony. He proudly gave Irwin a tour of the prison, explaining every detail of its structure. He even rushed off to grab a book Irwin had written, hoping to get a signed copy from his idol. But Irwin, instead of offering praise,
"Any man with a collection like this is a man who's never set foot on a battlefield. To him, a mini ball from Shiloh is just an artifact. A combat vet, it's a hunk of metal that caused some poor bastard a world of pain."
criticized the warden's collection of military memorabilia. The comment deeply embarrassed the warden, and his attitude shifted instantly. He abruptly ended the welcome, feeling humiliated by Irwin's commanding presence. Determined to assert dominance, the warden planned to put Irwin in his place. The very next day, during yard time, he ordered that only one basketball be given to the inmates. It didn't take long before two groups began fighting over it. Tensions escalated quickly. A full-blown brawl broke out. As things grew more violent, the warden just stood by, refusing to intervene. He wanted Irwin to understand in this prison, he was the one in charge. Only when one of the black inmates picked up a weapon did the warden finally sound the alarm. The shrill whistle pierced the chaos, and immediately, every inmate dropped to the ground, frozen in place, not daring to move. The warden looked down at the former general, now kneeling at his feet, and felt completely satisfied. The other inmates all respected Owen and begged him to come up with a plan to get rid of the cruel and corrupt warden. But Owen, now an old man, didn't want any trouble. He just wanted to quietly serve out his sentence and go home to live out his final years in peace. That was until someone changed his mind completely. The next day, a young soldier saluted Old White just as the warden happened to be passing by. Seeing the gesture, the warden's jealousy flared. He couldn't stand the respect Owen still commanded, so he ordered the soldier to be punished, forced to stand in a torrential downpour and hold a salute position for the entire night. Owen couldn't bear to watch. He stepped forward to intervene, but Owen raised his hand to strike the young soldier, but Owen blocked the blow. The warden seized the chance to assert control, claiming it was against the rules for prisoners to salute each other. But Owen slowly stood up and calmly recited the actual regulations.
Corporal punishment for a prisoner begun on the day shift and not exceed the following warnings for.
The warden was stunned to walk away. To humiliate Owen in front of the other inmates, the warden accused him of assaulting an officer and ordered him to move heavy stones under the scorching sun. A 60-year-old general, but when Owen took off his shirt, his back revealed scars from blades and bullet wounds, a silent badge of honor. The prisoners looked on in awe, then one by one began to cheer and clap. When Owen finally moved the last stone, the prison yard erupted into thunderous applause, and that only made the warden feel even more humiliated. The prisoners tapped their nameplates over and over, a unique way to welcome a hero and to show their deep respect for Owen. Word of this tribute soon reached the warden. Infuriated, he decided to punish them. He ordered every inmate to build a wall using uneven stones, all within 1 week. It wasn't about the wall. He just wanted to make things hard for them. Luckily, one soldier among them knew how to build. Owen instantly recognized him, the same young man who had once saluted him. The soldier began giving instructions, and with his help, the wall went up twice as fast. Exactly 1 week later, a sturdy wall stood tall in the yard. To commemorate the moment, the inmates suggested carving the soldier's name into the stone. But just then, a siren suddenly blared. A bulldozer burst through the gate. The warden had ordered the wall to be destroyed. Everyone was outraged. But the young soldier stepped forward without hesitation. He refused to let the warden trample over their hard work. No matter how the guards shouted or pushed, he didn't move an inch. Seeing this, the warden gave the order to open fire. The soldier's sacrifice broke Owen's silence. He could no longer stand by while this ruthless warden reigned with cruelty. Owen had made his decision. He would no longer stay silent. All the prisoners were gathered together. They stood in formation, singing military songs to mourn a fallen comrade. The unity among the inmates was so powerful, it made the warden uneasy. He feared this growing solidarity might soon become a threat to his authority, so he quickly gave the order everyone was to return to their cells immediately. Since they couldn't openly salute, the prisoners came up with an alternative. They touched their heads in silent tribute. The warden could feel his control slipping. He sensed that if this continued, he would be completely overshadowed. In desperation, he approached Owen to make peace. But things didn't go as planned.
My resignation.
You're a disgrace, Colonel. You should not be allowed to retain your command.
Tell me, Mr. Irwin, what's to stop me from just placing you in the hole for, say, 6 months?
The two ended up completely falling out. The warden knew he wasn't a match for Owen, so he reached out to someone with more power. the highest-ranking commander in the United States, General Black. Ironically, General Black had once served under Owen. Far from backing the warden, he and Owen shared a warm, friendly conversation. Just then, the warden received an anonymous letter. It warned that if he didn't resign before noon, someone would kidnap General Black. Panicking, the warden took it seriously. He ordered his men to fully arm themselves. The prison went into full lockdown. To ensure the general's safety, guards stormed the meeting room and pulled him out. Helicopters patrolled the skies. But in the end, it was all a false alarm. General Black was furious. He chewed the warden out on the spot and warned him to stop targeting Owen.
Raise your flag so it flies high where everyone can see it. Now, you got yourself a castle.
The war against the warden had officially begun. Owen gave the order. A massive boulder was launched straight into the warden's office. Watching his prized possessions destroyed in seconds, the warden was furious, his mouth twisted with rage. He immediately ordered the high-pressure water trucks to roll in. The powerful blasts quickly scattered the prisoners. With the mobile command post about to collapse, Owen ordered his men to shut off the main valve. Without water pressure, the prison guards had no choice but to retreat. Just as the inmates erupted in cheers, a helicopter arrived for backup. It opened fire on the crowd. The prisoners fought back with stones, but it was useless. Then Owen gave a new command. "Shove the iron hook into the water cannon barrel," he shouted. The pressure launched the hook like a missile. It latched tightly onto the chopper. Now the helicopter was under their control. One inmate, a former pilot, seized the chance. He climbed aboard, knocked out the guard, and safely landed the aircraft. Then he flew straight toward the watchtower and took out the last enemy gun post. After this fierce rebellion, the warden had completely lost control of the prison. Owen saw the moment had come. The final step? Raise the national flag upside down, hidden inside a pile of rocks. That would signal the end. At his command, the prisoners lined up in perfect formation. This wasn't a prison anymore. It looked like a disciplined army. All of this was actually a premeditated escape operation. The inmates started by locking the cell block doors with chains. That way, the main prison guards couldn't get out. Next, they pulled out slingshots they had prepared ahead of time, loaded them with homemade firebombs, and launched them straight at the guard tower. It was the only place with real firepower, but now it was completely shut down. Then they rolled out a homemade catapult, aimed it right at the warden's office. To keep it from being destroyed, a group of prisoners circled it with food trays as shields. They used the reflected sunlight to mess with the warden's vision. Their goal was simple: force the warden to step down. The full-scale battle between the inmates and the warden had begun.
Winter's office. Guards, okay? Phase 1, neutralize Winter's guards. Phase 2, towers. Control the towers, you control the yard. Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 3, Tower 4. Tower 4 is tomorrow.
And the mastermind behind it all was the legendary inmate general named Irwin. Just a few hours earlier, Irwin had been quietly putting the plan into motion. His goal was to take over the prison. To get the warden fired, he first had to throw everything into chaos. Step 1 was to create a distraction. Irwin had one prisoner sneak into the warden's office and steal the national flag. When the warden found out the flag was gone, ordered a full-blown search, and sent all the inmates, including Doc, to the yard. That's when Step 2 kicked in. Separate the guards from the main control area. When the moment was right, gave the signal. The prisoners slammed the corridor gates shut. Now most of the guards were trapped inside the block. The few who were still outside got taken down fast. Then they opened every cell, let all the inmates out, and locked the guards in instead. Everyone had a job, and they carried it out like clockwork.